everybody, Dragon Movie Guy here. This is my instant movie review for the movie Tenet, Christopher Nolan's movie. I know this is obviously coming out a little bit late, but this is the first time I'm seeing the movie Tenet, and it's also the first time me going back to the movie theater, actually going out to see a movie at the theater in like 6 months. So this is my instant movie review because I just came out of the theater and watched Tenet for the first time. This is a spoiler-free instant movie review. It's my instant reaction just walking out of it. And if you want to see the full spoiler review, click right up here. And if you also would like to see my video that I'm doing on the experience of going back to the theater and to see whether I think you should actually go back to the theater right now, whether it's worth it, whether you feel safe, all that kind of stuff, click right up here too. That is a link taking you to the video I did on the experience of going back to the movie theater. But this is my instant movie review for the movie Tenet, starring John David Washington and Christopher Nolan's latest film. This film is a film that makes you... this is a film that I think that Christopher Nolan probably thought going into it would be one of his master strokes, similar to Inception, similar to the great epics of all time. But I would say this film misses the mark. I don't want to give away too much, but this is a film that it basically should be a 4-hour movie, but it's a 2.5-hour movie. And I don't think that's on purpose. I think it's one of those things, I don't know this for sure, but just my initial impression is that this is a film that feels like he set out to make a 4-hour movie, and then the studio was like contracting him to require to have a movie that's 2.5 hours instead of 4 hours. So instead of cutting out plot elements, it feels like he just said, okay, well, I can get it to 2.5 hours. I can get it within the runtime of how long I'm supposed to get it to. And because it feels that way, I don't know that it was, I'm just saying it feels that way upon first seeing it, the editing on this film, the editing on this film, it's just, it cuts so thin that there's no character development. The timing is off, the feeling is off. Now, I will say, I do think, for the people that have seen this movie 2 or 3 times, this might be one of those things where I'm missing it upon seeing it the first time. I'm guessing this is supposed to be sort of like Inception or The Usual Suspects, where you don't catch everything the very first time that you see a movie. However, those two are all-time classics in Inception and The Usual Suspects. This is definitely not that. At least not the first time through watching this film. This is a film that I do think you should watch at least twice before rendering judgment. A lot happens. It's really, really plot heavy. There's almost no character development, at least none that I could see the first time through. Maybe it is a masterstroke and I'm just missing it. That's entirely possible, but I really don't think so. And even if it were, the feeling that you have watching the action scenes even, it doesn't feel like it's a masterstroke. The editing isn't that good. The shot selection isn't that inspired. This is a film that sort of feels like they just sort of, they had a really good location scout. They had a lot of great practical effects. The cinematography was good-ish, but the camera angles weren't really there. The camera angles weren't there, the editing really wasn't there, and it just sort of felt like they had a lot of pieces, they had a lot of set points they had to get to, they had a lot of plot points they had to get to, and they just figured they could save it in editing, save it in post, and then they just sort of half-assed it in post. It's sort of what it feels like. So, yeah, maybe I'm wrong, that's entirely possible. I need to really watch this a second time to really fully immerse myself before I do a full trailer or do a full movie review, just to do a spoiler movie review. But my initial, just walked out of the theater, reaction review, instant movie review for Tenet is that it's just sort of meh. It feels like one of those things where Christopher Nolan was probably on caffeine the entire time. In his mind, he thought he had an all-time classic, and it just wasn't. It just wasn't. It wasn't horrible. It just sort of was one of those that feels like it could have been good. It feels like he had a great idea for a film. It had a lot of cool, like, 70s espionage type elements to it. It had a lot of different elements to it that I'm not going to spoil here because it's a spoiler free. It's just an instant movie review. But it had a lot of different filmatic elements, a whole lot of cinematic elements. They had great locations. They had a great cast. But instead of being like Inception, or instead of being like a couple of his other great films that Christopher Nolan has done in the past, it just sort of feels like he missed the mark, I think. My initial reaction, first time watching it. I may retract that statement after watching it a second or third time, but that's just my reaction upon walking out. Anyway, I've been Dragon Movie Guy. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. Hit the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys thought of Tenet. Tell me if I'm missing something. Tell me if I'm missing something and that it'll be better the second time through. Let me know in the comment section down below as well. I've been Dragon Movie Guy, and I will see you next time.